Welcome back. Today I'm sharing how to make an apple-shaped cake. This cake has a really great story behind it, and I actually had the honor of making it for our former Second Lady, Jill Biden. And that's the reason why this cake is made with camouflage cake layers. When she was in the White House, her main initiative was helping military families, and so I wanted to honor that by incorporating it into this cake. So as you can see, I'm using some 6 and 7-inch cake layers which I've trimmed, and this is going to help create the base for our apple cake. I trimmed the top edge of my top cake layer as well to make it a little bit easier to get that apple shape. I crumb coated the entire cake once I was happy with its shape, and I then smoothed it using an acetate sheet. An acetate sheet is really just a thin piece of plastic that's flexible. I order them in bigger sheets that I cut down to make them more manageable and easier to use. I use these on almost all of my curved cakes or sculpted cakes just because they make the process so much easier. I chilled the cake in the freezer for about 5 minutes until the frosting was firm to the touch, and then I went to work on adding my second layer of frosting. I'm sure you guys are wondering why the cake is shaped like an apple. So Dr. Biden has spent her entire career in education, and that's always been really important to her. She also continued to teach while she was in the White House, which is just incredible. And that is so impressive and so inspiring. So now that we've achieved that apple shape we were after, it's time to add some color. I wanted this apple to kind of look like a Fuji apple almost, where it had notes of yellow hidden in between the red. To do this, I mixed together some gel food coloring with some vodka. I first added on the yellow, and then I painted the red over this. So this creates this really beautiful streaked look, and that's exactly what I was after. Once I was done painting the cake, I set it aside to dry, and then went to work on the apple stem. To keep things simple, I am just using 3 caramels that are store-bought, which I heated in the microwave for about 20 seconds. This makes them a lot more pliable and easier to work with, but you do have to be careful that they don't get too hot where they burn your fingers. Clearly I'm speaking from a little bit of experience on that, so do be careful of how warm the caramels are before you touch them. I shaped the caramels around a piece of wire to help the stem stay upright, and then I used a butter knife to score some lines in it to make it look more realistic. I also brushed the stem with a bit of baking cocoa just to give it a bit more dimension. If you don't have any caramels on hand, you could also use fondant or modeling chocolate to make the stem. As the caramel sets and cools, it gets this really great sheen to it, which I loved and thought looked so awesome on the cake. I used a pair of scissors to help me get that stem in place without messing up my frosting. And then the finishing touch was to add an apple sticker. So of course, since this cake is for Jill Biden, I dedicated the apple sticker to her, and it includes her hometown. So I hope you guys enjoyed this apple cake tutorial. While this was a very specific cake, it's an awesome back to school cake idea, and I loved how it turned out, so I thought I'd share it with you. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.